Paradigm shifts are like this. There's a story of a man who goes onto an airplane, and he had bought a little packet of cookies that he planned to eat on the airplane. And he was seated next to a stranger. And sometime in the middle of the flight, the man, we'll call him George, he bent down and pulled the cookies out of the packet, and he opened it up, and he ate one. And he noticed that the man sitting next to him, we'll call him Bob, that Bob was looking at George very closely and watched him take the cookie out and eat it. And he watched him very carefully, almost in a strange way. And then Bob did something very strange. Without asking, he reached over and took one of George's cookies out of the packet and ate it. And George is looking at him like, who is this man who's reaching over here taking my cookies? So he didn't say anything, just thought it was very strange. So then George ate another one of his cookies. And then Bob reached over and took another cookie. And they rotated eating these few cookies until there was one left. And the stranger reached over, took the last cookie, broke it in half, gave half to George, and ate the other half himself. And George is sitting going, who is this man that has such audacity and crude selfishness and bizarre behavior? And he thought that the whole rest of the flight until the plane landed, and he bent down to get his packet off of the floor. And when he did, he brought up his own briefcase or whatever and realized that there it was, his packet of cookies that he'd brought onto the plane. And he realized in that moment that he had accidentally reached into the other man's satchel and that he'd had the same packet of cookies. And then, in fact of the matter, George had been eating that man's cookies. And this man wasn't an audacious, selfish, bizarre stranger. He was incredibly magnanimous and generous. The psalmist enters into a place of worship. He's seen the world with a limited perspective. And he sees that sometimes the people that love God and are devoted to God seem to suffer, and sometimes the people that don't love God and aren't devoted to God but are wicked seem to be prospering. And he sees this from a limited perspective with his eyes, and he assumes all kinds of things, therefore, about God. But he enters into the sanctuary, and he comes into this place, and there something happens. He is able to perceive something with his heart because he encounters the love of God. And in this place of meeting with God and encountering the love of God, the manifest presence of God, of being immersed in the glory of God, of being in the place of experiencing the wonders of who God is. We don't know if this means it was a time that he was in the Word. Is it a time in which he was in prayer? The time was in song? Was he just in silent meditation? Was he in conversation with someone else? We don't know. These kinds of God moments, these kinds of experiences with God come in so many and diverse ways. God comes and meets, and the heart is awakened with a spiritual apprehension of the love and the goodness of God that has somehow trumped all that our eyes have seen. It is out of this relationship with God that then there comes forth a revelation that makes the soul wrapped with wonder that God is so good, and despite the things of suffering that I see in this world, I know that He is good, and we revel in it.